Our first stop this morning is an organic farm outside of Havana, Cuba. Again, part of this kind of tour showing us all the wonderful things they're doing. It's actually really cool watching this guy plow the field behind us. He's got them completely under his voice command. Doesn't use the switch, doesn't pull on the reins. He's just saying a couple different words, getting them to turn at the end of each row. Really a neat place here, and also some cool photographic opportunities.
Puede andar buscando una verdad para matar las dudas de un buen consejo.
This gentleman back behind me has just cut hundreds of bundles of chives, and it smells so good.
La codicia honra el alma, pero moja el suelo.
So we've talked in the last couple of days about the tourists that I've seen, mostly Europeans, some Americans, some groups like us for different reasons. You know, that's changing. We've got the second U.S. Carnival cruise that has arrived, so the influx of American tourists is certainly going to increase quite rapidly. So I've come over to the town of Regala. We toured a church that is a mix of Catholic and African religions, listened to some more traditional African music and the different deities that they worship, danced. It's really cool. And again, great photo opportunities. These women in these amazing dresses and costumes, twirling and dancing. So a lot of fun there. We're now going to take a ferry back across the Havana for lunch.
Complejidad de intenciones claras que abren las puertas a un fin.
So on the way into the ferry, Alicia let us know that there was a security checkpoint, and we made sure that we didn't have any weapons. One of our group members had a pocket knife, so I took it, put it at the bottom of my bag, hoping that they wouldn't see it. The reason they have a security checkpoint is somebody did try to hijack the ferry back in the 90s. As the Soviet Union collapsed, Cuba lost all of that inflow of goods and support that was provided to them, and that is when the major exodus of refugees started from Cuba to the mainland US. The ferry's got a flat bottom. It is not an ocean-going festival. That did not turn out so well, and my story turns out a lot better. The person at the security checkpoint was asleep. We just walked right in with no issues at all. All right, just finished up another delicious dinner, and now we're at, I don't know, the name of this giant fort right here in Havana, Cuba, that was completed in 1774, largest Spanish fort ever built in the Americas. And we're here for the cannon shot, which happens at 9, and that signaled in old times the closing of the gates to Havana. Remember, we talked about the whole city was walled? Well, if you were outside the city after that got closed, you spent the night out in the farmland. It was important to be inside so that you could sleep in your own bed. Inside the fort, greeted by trinket sellers. And just like in old times, you can buy baseball clubs, bats, I knew they were called bats. So we've got a great view across to Havana. This is the harbor entrance, and the purpose of this fort, primary purpose, was to guard the entrance and protect the city of Havana. It cost the Spanish king at the time $14 million. 9.2 seconds.
Seriously?
No, I don't know. It seemed like it was a while before, though.
Oh, really?
It could have just been my nervousness. I don't know. We we've made our way quite some distance from Havana this morning. We are in the town of Santa Clara. It's several hundred kilometers from Havana. It is the site of a turning point in the revolution when Fidel Castro, Che Guevara overthrew Batista, or at least this was an important step along that path as they were rebels fighting in the country of Cuba on their way to Havana. The government of Batista, the government that was then in power, sent supplies and reinforcements down to Santa Clara, where Che Guevara and small band of rebels, attacked these armored trains, pushed them off the tracks with a Caterpillar back there behind us. And even though they were armored, and honestly they look mostly like regular train cars to me, the bottoms were wooden. And so the men smartly threw Molotov cocktails there. The soldiers inside were quite unhappy about that, started to suffocate, and of course surrendered. So it was a decisive moment in Cuban history and is now, of course, a big monument. I've got a special guest here that can answer any further questions you might have. Cute kitty cat, you got anything else to say? Cuba has lots of kitties and dogs. Many of them could use a good meal or two or three. This one seems to be doing all right. And of course, no important moment in history can be without a gift shop and t-shirts.
Me hace reír. Ja, 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 ja. Después que la inflación se dio diluvios de piedad para subir más los precios. Después que la igualdad.
So we just finished up at the Che Guevara Memorial. One half is a museum, the other half is the actual memorial with the remains of the rebels that died in Bolivia, including Che Guevara. No cameras are allowed inside at all. The artifacts that they have on the museum side range from, really? Like his grandmother's chair from her house, to the interesting, including a shot Ali noticed of Che. He worked for a time as a photographer. He's shooting with some rangefinder with a some interchangeable lens camera with a very long lens on it, on a monopod as well. Interesting, and a popular attraction here in Cuba, as you might think it would be. So we toured the Che Guevara Memorial. We visited the town of Cinefuegos, where we are now. Just checked into our hotel room, and we've arrived. Place is all right. Let's get our welcome drink.
El vivo vive del necio. La avaricia escupe balas, pero rompe el cuero. Morral dañado no traga, pienso. A veces damos fe por mostaza para adobar un cojín.
Not bad, Cuba, not bad.
No basta, en silencio no hay nada que decir y me hace reír. Me hace reír. Ja, ja, ja.
Me hace reír. You were asleep at the desk?
Me hace reír.
She was asleep at the desk.
Me hace reír.